Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Today, we're announcing, we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho.
MAGA is turning on Trump again, this time over the Qatari military facility in Idaho.
Hey, so we're done. We're done. This country is done. It's been done. It's done. I feel like he knows he's about to go out and go straight down, and this is his final, I don't know, reprieve. I don't know.
MAGA, this is why it's not okay for presidents to receive $400 million jets from a foreign government.
I have a Qatar military base in Idaho. I'm just trying to figure out, what did they possibly give you for you to allow that to happen? Whole life, Middle East is bad. We can't allow nothing in the Middle East. Let's deport everybody. We don't want no immigrants here. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, Qatar, y'all want a military base in our country? Hey, my nigga, come on over. You gave me a jet.
MAGAs are losing it. They are fuming because Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump have allowed the nation of Qatar to have or establish their own Air Force facility on US soil, their own military base on US soil. And they can't believe Sharia law is about to take over the United States of America. A lot of them are... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I hope from wherever you are watching this from, you are doing all right. Hopefully God has protected you and preserved you very well. Thank you to all of you that keep supporting me on here. Big shout out to my members. They do me amazing. Yes, we are back with another episode where just is it on the 10th, that's when Pete Hegseth announced on social media that they are going to allow Qatar to have a portion on the US soil, and they will establish their military base, and they will receive training on how to fly whatever planes. And the MAGAs are losing it because this is not what they voted for. But of course we know why Trump allowed this, because they gave him a plan. Why don't we watch the reactions of Americans on this, and we'll come back and talk about it. Let me know what you think about this, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Today, we're announcing, we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership.
It is an honor to be at the Pentagon and to meet with you as we reaffirm the strong, enduring partnership between the state of Qatar and the United States. Our nations share a deep defense relationship grounded in a mutual respect and a common vision for peace and stability in the Middle East.
Quote, betrayed, fierce backlash tonight from the MAGA base after this surprising announcement with great fanfare from the Trump administration. He's sitting next to a member of the Qatari royal family there, just to be clear. It's an announcement that caught everyone off guard. The administration greenlighting a plan for Qatar to build an Air Force facility in Idaho. And Trump's base is livid about it. Far-right activist Laura Loomer, who has Trump's ear, highly influential in MAGA world, lashing out. One of her posts, she says, what the hell is going on? Why are we trying to train more Muslims how to fly planes on U.S. soil? Didn't we already learn our lesson? Why are we encouraging more Islamic infiltration of our country by the founders of Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood? This is very bad for our national security. And by the way, she had a lot more where that came from. Laura Loomer, in fact, has fired off about 40 more posts on X slamming the decision. 40 posts on this today. Watch them populate the screen. They're mad. At one point, writing, this is where I draw the line. I am not voting in 2026. And then Steve Bannon came out and told Newsweek there should never be a military base of a foreign power on the sacred soil of America. Now, to clarify, Qatar is building a facility to house a squadron of F-15 pilots and teams. I mean, that's a lot of Qatari military personnel on an existing U.S. base. And maybe there are serious security concerns with that. But there are concerns. There are when it comes to corruption. For one, This is the same country that gifted Trump the luxury jet. Remember the jet? Reported price tag on it was $400 million. The jet that Trump wants to use is Air Force One, right? That was Qatar. And by the way, when it comes to money, because it always does, Trump's family and the Qataris are business partners now. Eric Trump recently unveiled plans for a new golf course and a beachside resort in Qatar. And Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, has raised billions of dollars from several Middle Eastern countries, including Qatar. Qatar is also central to the Trump's Middle East crypto strategy, which is now the bulk of his net worth, helped make his children billionaires. Most recently, Qatar also made sure to stay in Trump's good graces by rolling out the red carpet for the president during his visit as president. Fighter jets escorted Air Force One into the airspace of Qatar. On the ground, the spectacle had Cybertrucks, horses, and camels, a welcome for a royal. But on top of all of that, there is this. Trump just signed an executive order defending Qatar's security, giving NATO-level security guarantees to Qatar. Which, by the way, just to be clear about what that could mean, I mean, it should be obvious, but I guess I should also note that Qatar has been hit with missiles from Iran and Israel, both in the past 3 months. It's an incredible series of events. I mean, by the way, in any case, it's an incredible series of events to lay all that out. I can't even believe I'm saying it, and this is real, but it is. But then there's also this, what Trump actually said in the past on the record about the Qataris before they showered him with gifts and money.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level.
And that right there is a big part of why MAGA is breaking with Trump over this Qatari Air Force facility in the state of Idaho.
Hey, so we're done. We're done. This country is done. It's been done. It's done. I feel like he knows he's about to go out and go straight down, and this is his final, I don't know, reprieve. I don't know. Right? He didn't get the Nobel Peace Award. Now he's selling U.S. land to terrorist organizations. Oh, you didn't hear? Yeah, so Donald Trump is allowing for Qatar to build an Air Force facility on U.S. soil in Idaho. You want to know who partially runs the Qatari government? Al-Qaeda. Woo! Let go of your dreams and pack your bags. It's time to flee. Oh, yes, for sure. This is totally not a huge issue with our country's national security. No. The left is, but literally allowing for terrorist organizations to build weapons in our country, totally fine. Totally fine. Hey, there's no issue with that. No issue. Like, really, you don't get the fucking Peace Prize, and so now you're like, fuck, I'm pro-terrorism. What?
Did you see this nonsense with Qatar today?
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level.
Wait a minute, how did that get in there? My bad. This is the video I meant to show you.
Qatar asked for anything in exchange for that $400 million luxury jumbo jet, and how can the American people be so sure that they will not in the future?
I'm sorry. I meant to show you this video.
The Trump Organization, in partnership with Qatari Diyar and Dar Global, has announced its first real estate venture in Qatar, a $3 billion luxury development featuring the Trump International Golf Course and Trump Villas.
How do I keep messing this up? I'm so sorry. This is the video I meant to show you.
And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s.
MAGA, this is why it's not okay for presidents to receive $400 million jets from a foreign government. Now, there are plenty of examples of seeing Pete Hegseth excited about something. This isn't it. Clearly, he's not thrilled about making this announcement from what appears to be his mother's basement. Another example of Donald Trump making a decision that works against the best interest of the United States. Qatar joins a growing list of countries that knows they can count on Donald Trump more than anyone else, regardless of what they do. Putin could count on Donald Trump never following through with any threats of sanctions or consequence whatsoever. Wouldn't even go so far as acknowledge the fact that Putin invaded Ukraine completely unprovoked, despite the fact that our soybean farmers are getting wiped out because China is buying soybeans from Argentina because of Trump's failed tariff policies. Donald Trump uses $20 billion of our tax money to bail out Argentina. And then there's the fact that Donald Trump continued to use our tax dollars to fund a genocide of a country that continued to defy ceasefire orders. In addition to the almost $6 billion a year we give to Israel, who provides free healthcare and education to its citizens, while we have student loan debt out the ass, while millions of U.S. citizens are facing losing their healthcare insurance or being completely unable to afford it due to Trump's potential 112% increase on premiums.
Now, we saw in Midnight Hammer
the largest B-2 bomber attack in American history that in no way benefited the people of the United States of America. Just more of our tax dollars pissed away on behalf of Israel, a country that would soon demonstrate how much they actually respect our country and our president by bombing Qatar without giving Trump any notice whatsoever. Again, something we're doing on behalf of a country whose name you cannot use on social media without getting flagged, without getting a warning, or without your account getting taken down. You might want to find me on other platforms because I'm not sure how much longer that country will allow me to be on this one.
Welcome to the Pentagon.
And then there's the fact Qatar is tied to 9/11 through private funding. But, Trump got a jet.
I have a Qatar military base in Idaho. I'm just trying to figure out, what did they possibly give you for you to allow that to happen? Whole life, Middle East is bad. We can't allow nothing in the Middle East. Let's deport everybody. We don't want no immigrants here. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, Qatar, y'all want a military base in our country? Hey, my nigga, come on over. You gave me a jet. What do you need? I got it. Idaho, right there in the Colette Parade side. I'm building the ballroom. You could build a military base. It's just like, how is this America first? You got Charlie rolling his grave because his wife was like, hey, we should have our own Super Bowl halftime performance. Is any football going to be played? No, but there's Bad Bunny and he's Puerto Rican. But wait, that means he's American. Fuck that. He be speaking Spanish. We going to have our own halftime show. You guys will do numbers because there's going to be people that are hate watching. There's going to be obviously the Klan. They're going to tune in. There's going to be people like me. They're like, how ass could this shit possibly be? I'm going to turn my channel. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Not only do you have a WWE memorial service, and now you guys have a bullshit halftime performance. I just know Charlie, whether he's looking up, looking down, is disappointed. Since they can't release the files that we actually care about, they keep on releasing these files. And this time, another boat blown up with, I don't even know what type of Mephistophelian-ass weapon that is. That's like a shotgun shell, but missiles. And who's on this boat? This time it wasn't even a Venezuelan drug smuggling boat. It was a Colombian boat with citizens on it. And of course, you're gonna sit there and be like, they lying, we know it's a drug boat, boom, had to go. March Vera, you guessed it, death. Well, the president of the other country is like, you just blew up our citizens for no reason and then went and bragged and tried to say it was a drug boat. Do we not realize these motherfuckers are incompetent? Or are you just gonna be like, no, I trust them with no proof, just a video of them blowing people up? I'm just saying, bro, we are headed in a fucking unbelievable pathway. It's like a speed run into dictatorship, fascism, and our country gonna be fucked. Of course, it's your daily reminder of our greatest ally and the Holocaust 2.0 that they are carrying out. This was a city, and now this is what it looks like. And you mean, I guess Hamas is there, or you're trying to ethnically cleanse
Idaho.
Does this have anything to do with Qatar giving Donald Trump a $400 million Boeing jumbo jet? Does it? Does it? Because if it does, that is incredibly, incredibly concerning. Why are we cozying up to authoritarian regimes? Why are we giving them weapons, technology, training, while at the same time abandoning our Western democratic allies like Ukraine? Now, I understand the argument that if you give nations American weapons and technology, they will not then get weapons and technology from China and Russia. And they're now dependent on Americans for training, support, spare parts. I understand that argument. But this has a history of blowing up in our faces. Now, I don't want those F-15 jets in 20 years to be used on my children. Because historically, Western democracies and absolute authoritarian nations do not get along. Qatar is a nation that if my daughter was raped, she would be prosecuted for adultery. My dad would be in prison right now because he's gay. I would be in prison for making this video, and I do not want those fucking people as my friends, let alone having our weapons and technology, because eventually it gets used against us. And it makes me especially uncomfortable that Qatar gave Donald Trump a $400 million bribe. I do not want my elected officials being bribed by foreign nations and then giving them special treatment, especially if those nations are authoritarian. Reasonable stand.
There is no military bases on United States soil that are owned and operated by foreign countries where their troops are stationed here on United States soil. None. That is until today. Pete Hegseth, under the Trump administration, just decided that they were going to sign a letter of acceptance to allow the Qatari government to build an Air Force base in Idaho. Never before have we allowed a foreign country to operate a military base on our soil. Yet all of a sudden, the country that gave Donald Trump a Boeing 737 as a gift now gets permission to build a military base on our soil. Is there some kind of secret agenda here to let the Qataris help him fight this civil war so they win? Is he really afraid that our government will stand up to him? Our military will stand up to him? Guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. This is absolutely wild. This blows my mind. We're letting a foreign country have a military base in our country, in Idaho. This blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind.
For the first time ever, a foreign country, a foreign entity will have a military base on U.S. soil. So the Qataris will have the equivalent of an Air Force base over in Mountain Home, Idaho. White folk, y'all ain't mad yet? Y'all ain't upset? America first though, right? I thought we were putting America first. And we just allowed a foreign entity to put an Air Force base, a military installation on our fucking soil, selling out to the Qataris as they ink a deal to house and train over 170 Qatari Air Force men and house their families, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to be paying no type of taxes. They'll be exempt from that shit while they learn how to fly our F-15s. Weren't y'all just upset about Sharia law? Weren't y'all just upset talking about the future mayor of New York being a Muslim? And now your government, the man you voted for, just sold us out to the Qataris. You know, the same government that gave him a fucking $400 million Boeing private jet. Yeah. Now this deal inks all the way back to his first term as president. Back in they started this deal back in 2017. 2017, that's when they started it, and now they're signing it into fruition. Yeah, I bet that flew under y'all fucking radar. Go back and look. You can pull it up on Fox News. Yeah, it was like a $12 billion deal back then for training and shit like that. Now we look desperate because the global South has aligned with BRICS and things like that. See, there's a shift, there's a change where the global powers are changing as we continue to look for new resources and things of that nature. And we're selling out to the Qataris. Oh, but let's not talk about us just selling EA to the fucking Saudis. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything, I thought this was America first. I thought we were supposed to bring things back to this country. And we continue to sell them out. These companies continue to sell them out. They're selling our land. They're selling our water. They're selling America's for fucking sale for everybody. Meanwhile, you can't even get health care right now. Can't even get health care now to your own fruition, but you can't even get fucking health care. Them blue and white people, we can't say name on this app or your shit get flagged. They people got free healthcare. They people got free education, all on our tax dollars. But then y'all won't even vote for us to have it. Oh, because y'all want niggas to have shit? Well, racism is expensive. Look at this picture. Oh, they happy. Signing. Oh my God. Our kids are fucked. Our kids are fucked because of y'all, white people. Because y'all would rather hold on to racism and feeling better than black people, immigrants, LGBT, whatever, to hold on to y'all's whiteness, Christian whiteness. And I only use Christian loosely in theory. And again, I say y'all are because they keep playing in y'all fucking face. They playing in y'all fucking face because they can, because y'all are goofies. Mind you, these are the same Qataris that have been funding and giving political support to Hamas. That's crazy, bro. Let's put our tinfoil hats on. This deal goes back to 2017. Hamas pops up, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, something like that. Does what they did over there in that place. Now all of a sudden they ink a deal to release the captives. And now we have a foreign entity with a military installation on our fucking soil.
Yo. Is it just me? Or does anybody else remember when Donald Trump said that Qatar was a state sponsor of terrorism? Anybody else remember that? Maggots, you all remember that? Well, just in case you don't, I got the video for you.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism. I decided, along with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, our great generals and military people, the time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that funding.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that, right? You maggots, I know y'all remember it, right? Well, what a difference 1747 and billions of dollars invested in the Trump family makes. Let's take a look at what happened today.
And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho.
You don't say. So let me see if I have this right. Not only are we going to have a joint training facility on an Air Force base in the heartland with a country you said was a state sponsor of terrorism, but they're also going to be their own aircraft used on this training facility. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. So we know the cost now. a 747 and a couple of $1 billion. And you too, no matter what, can get a joint military Air Force facility in the United States. Maggots, these your men, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this right here. And by the way, fuck your purple revolution. Yeah.
So do you know how for years now Republicans have screamed that those countries that operate under Sharia law, that they need to be eliminated? They're the most violent, extremist type of government, religion, whatever it is. We've all heard it, that they have killed Christians, that they have assassinated our military. As a matter of fact, those that flew into the buildings on 9/11 practiced Sharia law. So I want to know why Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump just announced, actually boasted, that they're allowing the country of Qatar that operates under Sharia law to open their own Air Force base on U.S. soil in the state of Idaho. And your tax dollars and my tax dollars are going to be used to train their pilots on how to fly fighter jets. I want somebody who voted for Trump to explain to me how this is even remotely okay. In the country of Qatar, they treat their employees like shit. An employer can have the most unsanitary, dangerous working conditions, and the country will not inspect those buildings or do anything about it. If an employee complains about it, the employer can snatch away all of their paperwork, including their passports, and not pay them and force them to keep working. There have been so many deaths in these workplaces that the government has not investigated. How about our LGBTQ that are over in Qatar? It's illegal. You can receive the death penalty if you're part of the LGBTQ community. They ban any reference whatsoever on all forms of media that's pro-LGBTQ. How about women? Women need approval from a man to get married. If they're under 25 and not married, they're not allowed to travel abroad. They're not. Once you get married and have children as a woman, you do not have any ownership in those children. So if your husband dies or gets divorced, you don't get the children. You have no say. This is just scratching the surface. I want to know why this is being allowed. Somebody explain it to me. Trump supporter anywhere, explain it to me.
Hey, y'all, come look at this. Shit, y'all. This ain't right. This ain't treason. I know we always train the other motherfuckers. We ain't never let them have no base on this bitch. But they got an embassy at best. All the time on CSI. They always unalive somebody, and they got diplomatic immunity. Now we finna let them motherfuckers have aeroplanes over this bitch. I know they make the 9/11 culprits, but ain't they next door neighbors? Cousins or some shit? So this how they got everlasting peace in the Middle East. Them motherfuckers out there trading our goddamn land. Idaho? What the fuck Qatar know about Idaho? They don't even like potatoes, do they? What y'all say, MAGA? America first. They ain't nowhere near America. This some bitch that gave money to goddamn Venezuela. Farmers' pockets touching. Now he ain't paying our military folk and brung some foreign military motherfuckers over here. Boy, we better watch them motherfuckers. They gonna have aeroplanes practicing? This motherfucker might not even be called America in 3 years. They doing shit for everybody over there, but ain't doing shit for us. They got everlasting peace over there. Meanwhile, Portland, Oregon is a war zone.
There's some serious misinformation going around about this whole Qatar is allegedly getting an Air Force base in Idaho dedicated to them. And it's nobody's fault. Like, people are regurgitating that on this app and others, and it's not their fault. Don't blame them. You know who you need to blame is Pete Hegseth, because he said that was happening, and he is the Secretary of War, which he's not. He's the Secretary of Defense. And he is, by the way, second in command to Donald Trump of the entire U.S. military. He's giving misinformation, because what is actually going on, and I'm not saying this is any better, is that they are dedicating one facility at our existing Idaho Air Force Base for the Qatari Air Force to come and to train with our troops. Still not a good partnership. Let me tell you why. So just to clear the air, they're not getting their own military base. They're still getting a building or a facility with ours, but they're not building a separate base for them. Now, I hope you'll stick around to find out exactly why this partnership should be considered treasonous. Let's visit the case of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, or KSM, as I'm going to call him. And yes, I do have some notes I'm referring to because I want to get it right. We're not doing misinformation here. So KSM was considered the principal architect of 9/11. And if you don't know what 9/11 is, it was that giant terrorist attack on the United States in which thousands upon thousands of Americans died. And those who didn't die but were still part of that terrible day, a lot of them had lasting mental health effects, obviously, but also physical effects that in some cases took their lives. This quote-unquote mastermind behind 9/11, he was living in Doha, Qatar in the 90s. And as part of him being there, he was working for Qatar's Ministry of Electricity and Water under a government job, which was arranged for him allegedly by the Qatari royal family. 1996 rolls around, and the US has enough information and evidence to arrest KSM. So they call up Qatar and they're like, hey, he's not a good guy, can you please arrest him? And instead, Qatar tips him off that he's going to be arrested. KSM was then able to flee to Afghanistan, where he was able to then mastermind the plan behind 9/11. It is quite literally possible that if Qatar had done what was right and arrested KSM, we might not have had September 11th, 2001. So Stephen Miller, who wants to get on X or Twitter or whatever the hell it's called now, and say that harboring illegals is a crime, is total hypocrisy when you, as the US federal government, are willing to essentially harbor and train the Qatari Air Force.
Hi, hello, military spouse here. The U.S. military is not building a Qatari Air Force base on American soil. What Pete Hegseth did announce today is the U.S. Air Force is hosting the Qatari Air Force on Mountain Home Air Force Base in Mountain Home, Idaho, and mentioned building them a facility. Hosting a foreign military organization is not a new concept. In fact, Mountain Home Air Force Base has been hosting the Singaporean Air Force since 2009. But just because the Qatari Air Force is not building their own Air Force base in America does not make what was announced today unproblematic, because it very much is. While the Singaporean Air Force provides their own F-15s, they utilize the facilities, airspace, and lodging already located on Mountain Home Air Force Base. Pete Hegseth suggested today that the Qatari Air Force would be getting their own facilities, which is completely different than what is typically done when hosting any other military organization. Additionally, and most egregiously in my opinion as a military spouse, announcing such a significant financial investment during a government shutdown when our military service members are working for free and not getting paid is fucking disgusting. At any rate, this facility, should it actually come to fruition, will take an extremely long time to build and become operational. There's also no guarantee that this facility is going to be owned by or exclusively for Qatar. But this deal has been talked about since 2022, yet all of a sudden is being announced right after a $400 million Air Force One airplane was gifted to the Trump administration by Qatar. That's not suspicious at all. Perhaps a better financial investment would be in our military service members who aren't getting a paycheck next week when I have $200 in my checking account and groceries to buy on Sunday.
Well, well, well. It's Friday, baby. I just rose my head from my bed. I have not had any coffee or tea in me yet, honey. But I need somebody to explain to me this right here, expa-fucking-diciously. As of October 10th of 2025, the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has signed a letter of acceptance to host a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho. The agreement allows Qatar F-15 fighter jets and personnel, aka Qatari soldiers, to be stationed at the U.S. base for advanced training. What? You see, this was part of that deal that they brokered for peace over there in the Middle East with Gaza yesterday. You know that deal that Daddy Dumpy Pants has been asked about over and over and over again, and he just said, it's 22 points, friend. We're working on phase 1 to get the hostages released. That's all you need to know. You didn't need to know that they were going to allow the Qatari government to send soldiers and fighter jets on American soil to be stationed and fed and housed and trained with American taxpayer money, honey. No, nobody ever mentioned that part of the peace deal, did they? Sure didn't. But here we are today. Here we are today with a foreign government that used to be quite hostile in recent history. Very fucking recent history, is now going to be stationed on American soil. Wow. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but do we or do we not have our own Air Force facilities in Qatar too, where we have the ability to train the Qatari soldier with those F-15 jets and advanced training? We already have you know, that base over there that Daddy Dumpy Pants gave the go-ahead to for Iran to throw bombs at over the Dudu Netanyahu little play and over us going into Iran that day to, you know, obliterate their nuclear facilities. Yeah. So daddy let them, bomb, that's treason by the way, let them bomb one of our bases in Qatar. So why, oh why, do we need the Qatari soldiers on American fucking soil today at one of our American fucking bases with their very own facility being erected, baby, on the money that me and you pay in our tax dollars, honey? I'm pretty sure they could have got that same training over there in their land. Right, dear? Right? But when somebody gives you a $400 million gold-plated fuck palace in the sky, I guess you owe them a favor or two. When a country lets you come in there and just throw up towers and resorts everywhere and pad your pockets with money, I guess you owe them a favor or two. But what I want to ask you is how long till Dudu Netanyahu decides he's going to throw some more bombs, I don't know, Hamas's way, which, by the way, are stationed in Qatar. They're friendly with their government, dear. They're basically like this right here. How long until he pisses them off again? And, well, they have leverage, friend, right here on American soil. He's already let the Qatarian prince have his way into the US of A to the tune of scooping up EA Sports, the Saudis, dear. He's let the Saudis come in here and scoop up EA Sports with all kind of deregulated business deals so that they have influence over two-thirds of American youth through video games. Now he's letting Qatar bring their soldiers into the United States. Just another way that Donald Trump is selling out Americans every day here in the US of A while he turns our military against us on our own soil, dear. This motherfucker and his entire regime need to be removed. They've got the government shut down here in the US of A, and Americans are going without money and food today. And y'all want to throw hate a Democrats' way because they're trying to hold on to the little scraps that the Republican approved for you back in the day that had to do with health care. And he don't care about any of that because he's too busy signing dark secret deals and making money. He's too busy bending the way to enemies today while causing fights with our allies in the dark of the night via the way of the fucking not-so-truths that he can't keep his fucking little tiny fingers off of. And you red hat voters are over there today worried about some phone records that were found within the FBI while they were doing an investigation into the GOP legally, by the way. Because, I don't know about you, but it seems to me, after the shit we're seeing Petey Keg's breath do, and Daddy Dumpy Pants too, and Ross Vaught and Stevie fucking Nutlick, the whole fucking crew, I don't know about you, but if they were in the fucking blue, I would want the FBI to have some eyes on them too, and their phone records, right? But I guess with the GOP, it's okay for you, right? Right, Red Hat? Red Hat, you okay with that? You're worried about speaking Spanish today. Can you speak Arabic, baby? I told you to worry about speaking Russian in a future day. And oh, baby, do you know how many people in Russia also speak Arabic too? Do you know how the Putin dude really likes to do business with Arabs, baby? So I guess I should tell you today, don't worry about learning banjo for the bathroom, honey. You need to be learning Arabic, Farsi, Russian. There's so many. Urdu, yes, honey. You probably want to learn those fucking languages today. So much for it being officially English in the USA. Because piece by fucking piece, he is selling us out, baby. Making really stupid decisions. And the whole world can see. And the vultures have swooped in to fucking feast on the carcass of our democracy. How does it feel? How does it feel? Watching this fool sell out your freedoms and your democracies to foreign entities. Patriotism. It's time to shut this entire fucking country down.
I'm not MAGA, please don't scroll. I have a moral compass and a soul. How do you feel about putting a foreign military on our domestic soil? America, we got a problem. This regime is so out of control in what they're doing today. And I don't want to hear a single MAGA person say America first ever again. Because you support this regime. This unconstitutional, immoral, Not even fiscally conservative in the basic definition of the word. And absolutely not Christian in their actions. Approving a foreign military to set up their own base on our domestic soil, making it their domestic soil. Just like all the embassies that are located in DC, within the doors of those embassies, all of those people have diplomatic immunity because they are standing within their own domestic soil. So creating a foreign military base on our domestic soil is essentially giving away our own soil to another nation. But America first, right? America first, where people like J.D. Vance is the majority share owner of Acre Trader, which is also owned by Chinese interests, to go in and buy up farmers' lands, selling off more of America first domestic soil. And now we're putting a foreign military on our own soil? I don't give a shit if they're an ally or not. Hell, even during the Revolutionary War where France helped us, they didn't have their own base. Now we have for years and years and years brought in foreign allies' troops to train them, to support them, within our own custody on our own bases. But in the history of our country, we have never had a foreign military base of operations within our domestic soil. There is nothing America first about this administration. And as we get closer to the files being released, you're going to see even more asinine and ludicrous behavior from this administration. But keep your heads up, the clock is ticking. And when I say we the people are going to clean house, you be damn sure I mean that.
So there has been clearance that it's not going to be a military base, but it's going to be on a US base, and they are just going to be training them, and then they are going to establish a facility like on this base. Does that sound like a relief to Americans? Because America has wronged the whole world. I can completely understand the reactions and those people that are fuming, because imagine bringing your own enemy inside the house, knowing what you have done to their house. Okay? So I understand why MAGAs are not in love with this idea, which, to be honest, I feel like all Americans with this news, they are all like shattered because they can't believe that the country is on the plate, and they are literally, each country is trying to bargain. And I feel like that is how it is. Like, I can't lie. It feels like US is being put on the table, and each country that has money can pick a slice and take what they want to take, as long as you give money to Donald Trump. Yeah? Because what changed his mind for him to, even allow them to come and train in your country? Now, I know that they already opened a real estate project in Qatar, and I think he's going to put Trump golf courses in Qatar too, so of which it benefits him. And since it benefits him, he has no problem selling a portion of the United States as, the exchange. Let's not forget, United States does not belong to Donald Trump. I think that is that is the problem with having corrupt leaders. That man came out to call out other leaders on the UN whatever summit, and he called them corrupt. Their countries are going to hell. You see what he's doing to the US? Selling it to, and then selling it to Bibi as well. Yeah. That is where we are right now. But I don't think this is enough relief, even if they're saying it's not going to be a military base. Still, it depends on the people that you are allowing into your country. And as far as I know, MAGAs will never be okay with the idea of having a Muslim nation training in their country. They will not. And I don't know if they can even do anything to change anything about this. But at this moment, this is where we are. And you have seen quite a lot of Americans that are like, even if it's not true that it is going to be an independent, military base, the fact that they are going to have a facility, their own facility, they will use our own technology, our own, knowledge and anything that we have given them. They will use, because like, can we be for real? And I can completely understand them. Because ask yourself, why does your enemy want to know the techniques that you use and how you do this, so that just in case one day comes, they can use that against you? I think US needs to know that they have quite a lot of enemies because they have created them. They have created enemies out of so many nations. And that's why they try to, put such high gates around themselves. That's why they do not allow any other foreign military base on the US soil, because they know things are going to go south. Because US has literally kinda like involved in every destabilization that goes around, that happens around the world, because they want those resources. They don't have so much. So what do you expect them to do? To steal and destabilize others and steal from them? Yeah. But Americans are like, you know what? How in the world did this country come to this? How did we allow this bloated man to even be seated in the office right now? What do you guys think? Do you think the idea of them having a facility at the, American training base, military base, do you think it is a safe idea? You don't have to worry about anything, or still that is quite something to be afraid for? You're going to let me know, but the MAGA camp, they can't believe Sharia law is about to take over, because to them, that's what this means. But hey, your man accepted favors. You should accept as well for you to be so, because people will not do you favors without you doing them one. And in this case, for him, this is what it took him to give. And he doesn't care about anything else, to be honest. If they blow the country or anything, you really don't care that much. And these things are always put on the media to be seen. But a lot of people are like, why is everyone even coming out to defend P. Hegseth? Because, like, this man said what he said in broad daylight. And I feel like also other people are like, these people are literally letting their tongues sleep to actually speak the truth. Because in every moment, indeed, there is a divine moment to alert and inform the country of what is going on, so that you don't see just the twisted lie of, might have been what people think, this is not true, he just misspoke and all of that. But do you guys think it was misspeaking? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I think from me for today, that's it. I do love all of you guys. I want you to stay safe. May God watch over you and protect you. See you guys later. My name is Gracie. Bye.